Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to take a look at the KFC Blaster figure. Now, this one I got from a friend. Does not have the cassettes, so we're not going to look at those. It only came with one of the speakers, so. Reason why we're going to look at this is I want to see how well, because this figure came out about a year ago or so now. And, a lot of people complained about it. So I want to see how it aged. Because this was a figure that I had zero interest in owning back in the day. I think it goes this way. I had zero interest in owning it because it's a KFC product. As you guys know, I am not a fan of this company. I'm not a fan of Transbots, KFC, anything that they work on. I always seem to not like. So we're gonna look at this guy. I'm going to try and turn off my not a fan of KFC Transbots. Try to turn that off and just look at this as a figure, and see how well it held up after a year. Because now they have the one without the metallic finish coming out. Or it's out already, I can't remember. And it's like, what about this guy? Is this guy still relevant? Or is he completely irrelevant? Irrelevant? Anyway. Take a look at him. And this goes into the Transbots KFC deal. I've decided to go from tape to bot, and that's it, because I'm actually afraid of breaking it. That's something that I shouldn't feel going into a figure, but because of their track record, me, because I always end up getting some sort of flaws with their figures, I want to transform this as few times as possible before I sell this thing, because I am concerned. So first off, I guess this broke off. I've heard the reports that this has happened before, but there's also a paint chip going on there on the head. So I was debating on opening it up, see if I could fix it and whatnot, but I haven't gotten around to it. So let's take a look here. We got a little paint chip there. Outside of that, a little scrapage there. Outside of that, the front looks pretty good. Moving on to the top, we got chip there, chip there, chip there, chips here, chips there, there. A little bit in here, but I don't think that matters too much. So we got some paint chippage on the top. On the side, we got paint chip there, right there, right there, right there, there. On this side, there. Pretty obvious ones there. Bottom looks fine down there. All right, so we got some paint chippage, but it's honestly not as bad as I've heard. I've heard people having some major bad paint chippage. Maybe that's what they're talking about, is just these little chips. No, they're not. I mean, they're obviously not optimal, but it's not something that I would be too irked with. I mean, it bothers me, but I'm just trying not to be like, well, it sucks, and such. But so you press this button here, and this will open up, revealing the tape door. So if you had some tapes, you can put them in there, and then just press this button here and it moves it forward. Does it go all the way forward? Yep, it does. Looks like it's a little off center. Let me grab a couple cassettes real quick, put them in there, see how they fare. Now, I don't have any Autobot cassettes at the moment, because the only company that's really made them is these guys. And so my interest in them, in rebuying them, has not been too great. But we'll take a look at them anyway. Should have done this before. Always think of things while I'm doing a review, never when I'm preparing for it. Alright, so we're going to take this guy, put him in there. Then we got the Universe Ravage here. This will be the real test, because this guy's not even a real MP cassette. Alright. Seems to hold him just fine. Doesn't really come out very well, but that could be the Ravage too. So let's try laser peek in the front. Alright. Yep, he opens up just fine. So it was just the Ravage. No issues. Cassette door works just fine. Looked a little off balance, but I think once you get the figure in there, it looks good. Alright, so let's get into transformation. Not really done this transformation before, so bear with me. I got it from bot mode to via cassette mode or cassette player mode. Alright, so pull these panels up and move these out of the way. We want to pull these back, and then you can remove the gun. Same thing over here. Move the gun, just like that. Then you want to pull this piece here away from the front. Alright. From here we can rotate this down, just like this. Get this all out of the way here. Same thing over here. Alright. It's not as complicated as some people make it seem. It's got a few extra twists and turns, which are nice. Alright, so rotate. Oh, okay. You want to pull these shoulders forward, like this. And then that allows you to be able to pull these pieces out. There we go. And these will form the barrels of the gun. So, while I'm not a fan of parts forming, if it's parts forming for guns, I mean, there's really no other way to do it sometimes. So I'm okay with it. Alright, and you can fold these up. You want to take this piece here, fold this back, then these will rotate up on this little slider piece, just like so. That will allow you to rotate the waist. Pull this piece up a little bit, and then you can take the legs here. Oh. And collapse them together, and then push those two together like that, and that locks it all into place. Not too shabby. Alright, and then what we want to do here is flip the foot down, rotate this out, and then the foot can come down all the way, just like that. Take this piece here, and it will, let's see here, rotate, oh, open it up, it rotates around, comes around like this, it comes to the side. Don't want to tab that in just yet. This will come in like this. Take this piece here, rotates in, and then just like that. And then you can fold that in, and that all tabs together pretty securely, I might add. This seems a little loose, but this figure is a year old, so yeah, could be any number of things at that point. Rotate this piece around, and we're good to go. Looks good. I like this detailing. Nice detail, some silver, some gold, some red. All looks pretty good. Yeah, collapses up pretty good, and all around, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Alright, so, alright, same thing over here. Flip the foot down, flip this up, and then this will come around, collapse it in, just like that. This comes here, like that, and like that. Rotate this around, and flip the foot out, and we're good. Alright, so there's the legs done. Not too bad. We're not having too many issues here yet. I have a feeling there's some issues coming, but we'll take a look at that when we get there. Alright, so the arms, rotate this panel here out. This can, let's see, I'm trying to remember how to do this. This folds down, and then you flip the hand out. Tight joint, which normally is nice, but because it has those individually articulated fingers, it makes me worried that if something gets jammed up in there, you're screwed. Alright, fold this here. No, this will come here. This folds here, like that, and then we can go, yeah, just like this. And that side panel just kind of folds up like that. And there we go. And then you can open up these hands. Alright. Do the same thing over here. Flip this out. This will rotate down. No. You gotta open this up and fold the hand out first. Before we do, just real quick, it's got a peg there. You can plug this in. There's your speaker. And that from that one episode where he used it that one time to fight Soundwave. Let's pull the hand out. Again, those individually articulated fingers. Not my favorite. Not my favorite at all. Fold this down. Fold this up. This will come around and tabs in. Like that. Alright. Then, on the back piece here, these can fold up like this. I guess. Just like that. This can come down. And then you want to open up this panel here, which this thing, you can see it gave the previous owner a little trouble too. But you want to pull that open, and then you can flip the head up. Just like that. Tab it in. Just like that. And as you can see, I have to use the cartoon head because the original, this one, broke. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like I said, one of these days I might open it up and take a look at it. If I keep this figure, that is. I might not. Alright, and then we can assemble the guns. Just fold the handle out. Plug it in. Then you take this and tab it in and rotate the fingers around it. You're good to go. Do the same thing with the other side. I wonder if there's a place. No, can't really store them. Alright. So, yeah, the hands don't tab in the best to the hands. It's not terrible, but it's just not the greatest tab in the world. See, I'm trying to. This finger keeps rotating to the side. So I'm trying to rotate it around. All right. So, yeah, there you go. Transformation, not that bad. Nothing in there makes me go, aside from pulling out those articulated hands from the wrist. If you get that fist tight enough when you put it in there, you should be fine. But if those fingers start moving out a little bit and they get caught up on something and you put too much force on those hands, pulling them out, something's going to give. I promise you something's going to give. With those tiny little ball joints. That is the main reason why I don't like them. I mean, aesthetic-wise, they're fine. For the most part. I don't have too much of an issue with them. They look a little funky. But my biggest issue is like when they fold up inside, the forearm, which most Transformers have something where the arms fold up or the hands fold up inside somewhere else. And you sit there and you're trying to pull these things out and you snap fingers off and such. So that's my biggest issue with them. So let's go over articulation. Head. Let's see. Oh, there's some chips going on right back there. Right there. Head loose, swivel up and down. But still works. Swivel side to side. Shoulders rotate all around. I don't know. It's almost like this is a ball joint because it's got this little bit of a play in it. Let's see here. Just checking for any more paint chips. Shoulders seem fine. There's the swivel in and out, up and down, bicep swivel, double bend elbow, just like that. Hands rotate. I'm trying to do it without the fingers getting destroyed, but of course, I do it too quickly and destroy the fingers. All right, so we got the ball joints on each finger, and 2 points of articulation on each finger. Tolerance on the finger seems just fine. No issues there. This side we got some paint chippage going on here. Over here. Let's see, this one, not so much. Oh, some up here. Here. The waist swivels. Hips can rotate up to that far. They rotate back that far, so one click back before it gets hindered. I'm trying to see if maybe if I rotate it out. Yeah, if you rotate it out, it goes a little bit further, but when you go straight back, one click back and 1.5 forward. So it's okay. Nice ratchets all the way out. Let's see if we can balance them out. And you can. So that's not too bad. Thigh swivel. Nice bend at the knee. Foot rotates side to side. And it can hinge. But if you hinge it back too far, the heel spur has nowhere really to go. So you kind of have to deal with that. But you can work around stuff like that, I think. And yeah, let's get some figures in for size comparison. So, here he is with the car. You see It's much bigger than the car. Here he is with Prime. So he's just about the same size as Prime. And most importantly, here he is with MP Soundwave. And around that. So he's a little bit taller than Soundwave. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I know the toy he was taller. And just he was a lot bigger. But I'd say they're comparable. This is acceptable. And honestly, that's what I'm going to say overall about this figure is he's acceptable. I'm trying not to just go into a bash of KFC, but I don't like the hands. I never liked the individually articulated fingers on bots these size. You know, if it's something like the size of Devastator, you know, or a Combiner, it's like, okay, I could get that. With something this small, I can't get behind it because, like I said, you got to tuck the hand in. Almost every single one of these bots have their hands have to be tucked in somewhere. So if you can't tuck it in, or if you have to tuck it in, and you risk breaking one of those ball joints, you're going to be in for a bad day. I'm not going to fault the figure on the broken head. At least it came with two. I know that I've heard more than one of them happening. It's got paint chip going on, but that's kind of typical with this kind of paint. The heavy, the thick metallic colors, they have a tendency of chipping. It's not just this company. It's pretty much every single company that uses that heavy metallic paint. That's why a lot of them don't use the heavy metallic paint. So it's the company when it comes to the decision of putting it on there. Everything on this figure functions well. I think the ratchets are nice. Transformation's not bad. It's not over the top. It doesn't have that one spot that hangs you up like the X-Transbot Scourge does with those feet. Everything, you know, moves pretty well, and it all seems to work pretty well. I'm gonna say this, for some people, is going to be a very good blaster. For me, this would be a very good stand-in blaster. I'm, you know, until something better comes along. I would prefer to have the one without the metallic paint. But yeah, I will say, you know, it's a good blaster. Some people, you know, a permanent blaster. Some, for like me, like I said, a stand-in blaster. There's nothing legitimately wrong with this blaster. Nothing like, oh my god, this is terrible. It's my issues are the same issues I have with this company. The paint, not the greatest, and then the articulated fingers, because I really think they should step away from those, you know, and do like more of a Soundwave style where, you know, you get the 3 on the one hinge, and then you got the articulated pointer finger and the thumb stationary, so that when you have to push it in somewhere, it's one piece of plastic for the most part that you can do it. And you know, these figures don't need much more than that, in my opinion. But again, my main issue is, you know, once you have it in bot mode, the articulated fingers, for him anyway, seem to work just fine. But getting him from bot to vehicle or alt mode, that just, you know, cramming these little fingers up into that spot and then trying to pull it out without ripping these ball joints out, that's a hard task to fill. It just it doesn't work for me. So all in all, I'm gonna say I recommend this figure. I do. I think he's pretty decent for what he is. He's not terrible. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's the best blaster that we have that is available. But for a Masterpiece Blaster, he's the only real blaster that's available. There's the one without the metallic paint that's out there. He might be a better option for some that might want to transform it more than once or twice. But that red paint on him is awesome. I love that. You guys know me. I love that kind of red paint. So it's like, if you plan on just leaving him on your shelf and not transforming him, this is going to be the best blaster for you. If you plan on transforming it a few times, get the one without the metallic paint. So yeah, I think I don't know what I'm gonna do with this guy. I might just go ahead and take the head apart and see if I can fix that, and then maybe keep him. And maybe see if I can do a repair bay on the paint chips. But yeah, there you go. There is the KFC Blaster. He's not as bad as I thought he was going to be. Not nearly. I actually enjoy him. I'm going to give him I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Yeah. Few flaws, but overall not too shabby. Not too shabby at all.